Today we're talking about choices and what the consequences of our choices might be. Let's get our brains moving and think about some choices. To start with, you're in the middle of a brilliant game when you see someone in the playground crying. This person is normally really happy and you never see them crying. What do? Pause the video and chat about it with your family. I hope you guys all made the choice to stop and help, or to take them to a grown-up to help them. Our choices have the opportunity to make a difference to other people and how they are feeling. Now, let's have a go at another one. You're at a buffet with a friend when you get to the pudding section. There's only one of yours and your friend's favourite pudding left. There's lots of other things that you both like, but you know you both want that pudding. What do? Pause and chat about it with your family. Now, there were quite a lot of options with this one. I hope that you chose to either let your friend have the favourite pudding or decide between yourselves to share the pudding and another one as well. It's really important that we consider other people's feelings in the choices that we make. Okay, we've got one more for you. Are we ready? It's movie night and everyone requested their favourite snack to munch while the movie's playing. However, the grown-ups forgot your snack. There's no time to go to the shop just for your food, so what do? Pause the video and have a chat with your family. This one is quite a tricky one. When we are hurt or sad, it can be easy to make the others around you feel the same way, but we shouldn't punish others for their mistakes. A great choice here would be to forgive the grown-ups and realise that you were going to be sharing all the snacks anyway. Remember, it can be hard to make the right choices and we won't always get things right. And that goes for adults as well. Our choices can hurt other people as well as ourselves. We can learn from our mistakes, apologise to the people we may have hurt, and try again to try and make the best decision possible.
This week we're going to be talking about Samson, one of the judges in the Old Testament, and about the choices he had to make. The judges in the Old Testament were people who were leaders in Israel, and they helped the people of Israel with their problems and they made decisions. Do you remember Deborah, who we thought about a few weeks ago? She was a judge too. Now, Samson had a great gift. He was super strong, really strong, like the Hulk. Now, God told him in order to keep his gift, he had to follow some rules. What do you think about following rules? Some are easy to follow, aren't they? But some are not. We all break rules sometimes, and when we do, there are consequences that we have to deal with. Things that happen because we haven't done as we should have done. Sometimes there might be a punishment either at home or at school. Sometimes the rule we've broken is something that can hurt our relationship with God. Now, God made us and he knows us so well, and he knows that we are going to break his rules sometimes. When we do, it's up to us to see that and to say sorry to God and to the people that we've hurt. Now, the great thing is that Jesus died and rose again so that the things that we do or think or say that are wrong aren't there forever. They can be wiped clean. We can say sorry and be forgiven. Well, it's time to hear the story of Samson now. And as you listen to the story, have a think about some of the choices that Samson makes. Are they good choices or bad choices? Over to Claire for the story now.
So when Samson was a baby, his parents were told that he was going to be a hero for Israel and that God was going to give him some super strength. But in order for Samson to have this super strength, he had to follow some rules. And one of those rules was that he wasn't allowed to cut his hair. Now, Samson was able to use his strength to defeat a lion and a whole army of soldiers just with a jawbone of a donkey. Now, Samson was a really good leader, but he did make some bad choices, and he also broke some of God's rules. Now, Samson also wasn't very good at picking friends, and he often chose to spend time with people who didn't love God, and one of those people was called Delilah. Now, Delilah tricked Samson. She was working for the Philistine army, and she asked Samson what was the secret behind his strength, because nobody knew. And she asked him 4 times, and eventually Samson told her. So Delilah then cut Samson's hair, and the Philistine army were able to come and capture Samson because he no longer had any strength. And as a result of Samson not picking good friends, he ended up in prison for a really long time. Now, while Samson was in prison, he turned his eyes back to God, and his hair grew back, and his strength came back also, which meant that he was able to defeat the Philistine army once again. But he was never free. Now, prison isn't a nice place to be, and Samson's captors really treated him badly. And Samson then had to live with the consequences of his choices. And those choices were around the rules that Samson chose to break that God had given him, and also about the bad choices he made about the friends he chose, because they weren't a good influence on him.
Samson made some bad choices. Some of his bad choices were a result of who he chose to spend time with. Do you think that your choice of friends is important? Today's memory verse is about friends. It's from Proverbs 12, verse 26. The righteous choose their friends carefully, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. This means that we need to choose our friends wisely. Our friends can help us to make good choices, or they can influence us to make bad ones. This means that we should try and spend more time with people who help us make wise choices. That doesn't mean that we should be unkind to those that we think might influence us badly, but it is important that we think carefully about how others can influence us. It can help us continue to make good choices, and who knows, you might be able to help them make good choices too.
Thanks, Sam, for helping us to learn that verse. It really is so important for us to choose our friends wisely, and also for us to be a good friend to others. We're going to pray together now, and we're going to say thank you, sorry, and please. Let's talk to God together now. Dear God, thank you for your forgiveness when we do things wrong. I am sorry for the mistakes I have made. Please guide me to make good choices, and please help me to choose my friends wisely and not to be influenced badly by those around me. Amen.
Now, I don't know about you, but when it comes to us having to make choices, it's a really good thing for us to stop, think, and then go. so that we can decide if it's a good thing to do or not. And that's a bit like when we have to cross the road and use traffic lights. So today we are going to play a traffic light game. So for this traffic light game, when you see the colour red on the screen, you need to stop and stand still. And then when you see amber on the screen, you need to walk on the spot. And then when it's green, you can run! Are you ready to play? Great. Make sure you're watching the screen. They might come rather quickly. Now, I hope you really enjoyed our traffic light game today. You could always play that game again at home with those around you. You don't need to see the colours on the screen. You could have someone just say the colours out loud. Now, thanks so much for joining us today for our Kids Church. It has been awesome to think about Samson and the choices that we get to make in our lives and how we can make good choices. Now, I hope that you have a fantastic half term and we can't wait to see you next time. Have a fantastic week.